Now, the Cleveland Indians have a pretty good baseball team, and they've got some pretty good pitching this year, but don't let that distract you from the fact that Cleveland used to be so filthy that in 1969, their river caught on fire. There's even a song about it.
Burn on, big river, burn on. Burn on, big river, burn on.
No matter how the Yankees do, at least we got to see some baseball. The Yankees finished as the number 5 seed, which is far lower than I think all of us expected. And I don't know if they have enough to get it done this year. I really don't. They do have enough to get by the Indians, who they play in the first round, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But just keep in mind, we almost didn't have baseball this year, so try not to get too frustrated and enjoy the ride, no matter how long it goes. And coming in as the number 5 seed does allow us to come in as somewhat of an underdog, even though we are the favorites in the betting world for this first series against the Indians, the only favorites that are the away team. So I really feel like this could be a fun potential month if the Yankees can live up to their talent, which at times this year they haven't. They started off 16-6, then they had that horrible stretch where they were 5-15, and then they win 10 in a row. And then they finish out the year on a slow note. So it's been really up and down, but the good news is the law of averages says that the Yankees are due, because they were up, then they were down, then they were up, then they were down. And now, hopefully, we'll catch them on the way up as we take on the Indians. So let's get to the tail of the tape. The Yankees come in at 33-27, Indians at 35-25. Slightly better. Gerrit Cole was the Yankees' ace. He was 7-3 with a 2.84 ERA. Shane Bieber, 8-1 at 1.63, was the presumptive Cy Young winner. We'll see what happens after the season, but my money is on him. Yankees had 94 home runs as a team. That's more than the 59 that the Indians had. Yankees had a higher OPS plus, 117, compared to just 86. Indians, they have good pitching, 3.29 team ERA, compared to the Yankees' 4.35. And the Yankees scored 315 runs to the 248 scored by the Indians. This series could very well hinge on Game 1, who wins Game 1. And it's going to be a great pitching matchup. We're going to have Shane Bieber versus Gerrit Cole, as you just saw. Biebs has a 1.63 ERA. So he's going to be tough. He's probably not going to give up 5 runs. He's probably going to give up 1 or 2, if you're lucky. The Yankees got shut out in the final game of the season, so, again, law of averages said they should score this next game. How often do the Yankees get shut out twice in a row? So they'll probably get 1 or 2 at least. You got to think somebody's going to run into one. And, depending on how Judge and Stanton feel going into the game, what kind of scouting reports they have on Bieber, that type of thing, you never know what could happen. The Yankees could get, a 2 or 3 spot in the first inning. We'll see. Gerrit Cole needs to pitch as if 1 run will decide this game. And this series, really. Because if you think about it, the team that wins Game 1 in any series wins most of the time. And if you lose Game 1 on the road and have to play 2 more on the road without your best pitcher, your chances are slim to none. So Gerrit Cole needs to look at Game 1 as a must-win. He needs to pitch like the Yankees have their back up against the wall, because they really do. Because they've got to win 2 out of 3 on the road. That's a tough position to start in. And look, you can throw out the regular season. It was disappointing. The Yankees were not as good this season as we all predicted. Part of that was injuries. A lot of those guys are healthy now. Giancarlo was swinging the bat better at the end of the season. He didn't play in the final game, but in the penultimate game, he ripped one off the left field wall. We saw Judge turn on a couple of balls. Neither one of those guys has homered in the last few games, so that tells you that, again, law of averages says they could be waiting to explode. This could be a Mount Vesuvius waiting to erupt in Cleveland. We'll see. But Gerrit Cole needs to live up to the first year of that $324 million contract. Even if he doesn't pitch well in the rest of the postseason, he needs to win this game. He needs to give the Yankees a chance to get out of the first round. A first-round exit for this team, even in a 60-game season, could cost people some jobs. I mean, it really could. And so Gerrit Cole needs to go out and pitch as if one run is going to be what decides this series. And he's got to aim to throw, 8 or 9 shutout innings. That's the performance we need from Gerrit Cole. That's what he's getting paid to do in games like this. Who cares if you do it on June 15th, or in this case, August 15th against the Orioles or whoever? You're paid to do it when the chips are on the table. And the chips are on the table right now. On the road against the probable Cy Young winner. And believe me, Gerrit Cole is competitive. He doesn't want some young arm to be looked at as better than him, as out-pitching him. Especially when Gerrit Cole has to face, let's face it, not as tough of a lineup as Shane Bieber does. Now, I know the Yankees have had their trouble scoring runs, but like I said, they could be a Mount Vesuvius just waiting to erupt. One thing that Aaron Boone did confirm is that Kyle Higashioka will be behind the dish with Gerrit Cole on the mound. Now, that's, somewhat of a unsurprising development because Kyle Higashioka has done a great job with Gerrit Cole over the last 4 or 5 starts and has pretty much become the personal catcher for Gerrit Cole. And it's kind of disappointing for Gary Sanchez, who was once seen as the future of this organization. He was a starting catcher for most of this year, and he really just couldn't get it together with the team's ace, and he couldn't get it together at the plate this year. Just a 140-something average. Did have 10 home runs. I know that a lot of people gave me some grief when I put up highlights for Gary Sanchez, but he did have some great moments. He had that grand slam to give the Yankees the lead earlier in the year. He had some good moments. He's still got a good arm back there, but you got to wonder what is his future with the Yankees. Real quick, wanted to touch base. A bunch of you have asked me to make specific swag, and so I've updated my store with a bunch of new designs. Please enjoy and support the podcast. Another guy who could be on the hot seat is Yankees manager Aaron Boone. He currently has an option for 2021, which means that the team could choose to bring him back for one more year. Given this coronavirus season, that's what I would imagine they do. I don't think they're going to extend him. I don't think they're going to give him a 2 or 3 year contract. They'll probably exercise his option for next year, and he'll be kind of a lame duck manager, managing for his future. Now, if the Yankees do somehow win the World Series this year, he takes a 5th seed team all the way, then yeah, I think he may get a new contract. But, so far, the team has only regressed since Aaron Boone arrived. And I get the Red Sox were great in 2018. The Astros were probably cheating last year. But so far, no titles for Aaron Boone since joining the Yankees. Now, in any series, one player can really carry you. We saw it with Griffey in 95 against the Yanks. We saw it with Bernie Williams in 96 against the Rangers and then the Orioles. We saw it with Hideki Matsui and Alex Rodriguez in the 2009 postseason. A-Rod to get to the World Series, and Hideki Matsui once we got into the World Series. Just somebody who comes up and gives you a ton of hits. Somebody who does an outstanding job and really carries the load. And to me, the X factor this year is the batting champion, DJ LeMahieu. As DJ goes, so go the Yankees. In my opinion, he should be the MVP this year. He led the American League in OPS. And I know it's not a huge stretch to say, well, obviously, if your best hitter is hitting, it's going to be good for your team. Well, DJ LeMahieu does much more than lead off the game and get base hits. He's a guy who can really turn the lineup over and set the Judges and the Voits and the Stantons up for success. If you get somebody on at the bottom of the order, he's such a good situational hitter that if the first baseman is holding that runner on, he can shoot the ball right through the right side. And if you shift over to play him on the right side, he'll just pull it through the left side. He's that type of hitter. That's why he hits 360. And he's a guy who can create rallies. He can either get on base and give you a chance for a 2-run inning with Judge, Voit, Stanton coming up. By the way, I would bat Voit in front of Stanton in this series. I just feel like mixing those two types of swings up, Judge and Stanton, mixing those two humongous strike zones in with a shorter guy in Luke Voit, it gives the pitcher a different look. So, anyway, I I feel like DJ LeMahieu's a guy who, if you get somebody on the bottom of the order, he can keep a rally going and maybe set up a first and third for Aaron Judge, or maybe rip a double and have it second and third for Judge with nobody out or one out, and really give the big boppers a chance to hit without much pressure, where the pressure is on the pitcher to make a mistake. So DJ LeMahieu is my X factor for this series. Look for him to have a good series. If he has a great series, the Yankees are going to be in good shape because he is a hitting machine. So now a few of you have asked me to do predictions. I'm not usually a big prognosticator, just because, as John Sterling says, you can't predict baseball, Susan. But, you know, just because you guys want me to do it, I'll do it. I think the Yankees are going to take Game 1. I think Bieber, even though he's got great numbers, he's not a 1.6 ERA pitcher. I mean, he's having a great year, but the Yankees have seen him before. And I feel like the Yankees will get a couple of runs. I think they'll get 2-3 runs off of him. And I think you're going to see Gerrit Cole. And this is my big prediction. This is my out on a limb prediction. Gerrit Cole's going to put together one of those 15 strikeout performances. I'm talking 8 shutout innings, 15 strikeouts. Yankees take Game 1, 3-1. Game 2, Masahiro Tanaka on the mound. I think Masahiro Tanaka is made for the postseason. He's pitching for a contract. He's pitching for his Yankees legacy. And he had a rough outing to end the year. Typically, you can tell with Masahiro Tanaka if he is on his game within the first few pitches. If he hits his spots with the first few pitches, and he has maybe 7 pitches in the game and he's got 2 outs, then you know Tanaka's executing the way he wants to execute. And I think he does that very well in the postseason. Gary Sanchez will be behind the dish, and he's probably going to go deep because, 1, he's due, and 2, because he wants to shut up Yankees fans who are happy that he's sitting on the bench in Game 1 and show that he belongs as the starting catcher. So my prediction, Game 2, behind Gary Sanchez and Masahiro Tanaka, Yankees win 5-1. They take 2 in a row from the Indians. That's my out on a limb prediction. And then right from there, the momentum is going, baby. So I'll be here for a post game. Please like and subscribe. Visit the store. Get some new swag. I'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps YouTube suggest this channel to other Yankees fans.